In a recent video I talked about the resurgence of computer role-playing games, namely tactical turn-based ones. Watch it if you haven't. But I actively left out pure tactical games. Games that suck me in probably more than anything else if we're talking about time investment. I'm talking about games like XCOM, Disgaea, and Fire Emblem. I'm totally hooked, so let's get right into it. My love of tactical turn-based games goes back to Final Fantasy Tactics. I didn't like it too much, but it definitely piqued my interest in the genre. Flash forward to Advance Wars and I was absolutely hooked. I played so many hours of Advance Wars and all of its sequels, even that uncomfortably darker one. And it wasn't just a solitary thing either. Me and a group of friends used to pass around the GBA and play against each other. It's probably the only true memory of pass and play multiplayer I've got, so it's pretty significant. Eventually, I graduated to Disgaea, which took me by surprise. The story was pretty dumb, but it kept me laughing, but the character creation and customization with weapons was really cool. I love making new characters, and grinding them to the top and wrecking fools with the most insane team I could imagine is pretty awesome. It was the first time I can remember getting attached to characters that I had created. Even though they never spoke or had any true character interaction, the multitude of avatars I created were named, customized, and leveled by me. There was something about the progression from low-level scrub to godlike badass that really compelled me to play hundreds of hours of that game. Disgaea 2 came out and I was pretty stoked, but it just didn't stack up. Since then I've bought all the console sequels, but they just haven't scratched the same itch that the original did. And to be honest, it really bummed me out. I really was desperate to get a game that gave me the same sense of ownership over a team of heroes again. Fast forward again and along comes one of my favorite games of all time, XCOM Enemy Unknown. A reimagining of the 1994 strategy game UFO Enemy Unknown made by Firaxis Games, who you might know from the Civilization series. I'd been following this game for quite some time, and I'd even pre-ordered the game on Steam to make sure that I was absolutely able to play it at midnight the day it came out. The minute I booted it up, I was hooked. Customizing my XCOM team gave me exactly the feeling that I had been wanting for almost 10 years. And it introduced me to a concept that I hadn't even known that I always wanted: permadeath. The addition of permadeath in these types of games adds an incredible level of risk and, permanence. Every decision becomes meaningful because at any point you could make a crippling mistake. And while some gamers may find it too punishing, that's kind of the point. It creates a level of tension that makes you think about every single step you take. And when you make it out on the other side, that rewarding feeling of knowing that you beat the odds is just outstanding. There's no other feeling quite like it in gaming. I loved XCOM so much that I bought the expansion, Enemy Within, the day it came out, as well as the iPhone port on launch day. I just couldn't get enough of it. Then Fire Emblem Awakening came out. Holy shit, I love this game. The shining example of excellent tactical role-playing games on handhelds and my sole reason for owning a 3DS for a pretty damn long time. The art is amazing, the story is interesting enough, and the combat is just way too much fun. And again, Fire Emblem employs a permadeath system. While you're not creating the characters, they all have individual personalities and interpersonal relationships with each other, so it makes it really interesting and they're really well developed. They make characters that you really care about enough to actually want to keep them alive in battle. I had no idea that a game could make me care about a squad of heroes so much that I hadn't even created myself. But Fire Emblem Awakening 100% did it. And to think that that was going to be the last entry in the franchise. Believe it or not, Nintendo actually gave the Fire Emblem team an ultimatum due to low sales in the franchise. And if the game didn't sell well enough, then it was done. Thank God that didn't happen. Fire Emblem Awakening was a critical and commercial success, and one of my favorite games of 2013. And here we are in 2014. Tactical, computer role-playing games are everywhere it seems, and I'm definitely playing all of them. But right now I'm playing Xenonauts. It's an incredibly faithful spiritual successor to UFO Enemy Unknown. This game brings the hardcore tactical element as opposed to the attractiveness and mainstream appeal of Firaxis' XCOM Enemy Unknown. I haven't decided which one I prefer, but Xenonauts definitely has its hooks into me right now. And that's my history of turn-based tactical strategy games. If you've never played one of these, give it a shot. They can be incredibly rewarding, and absolutely provide an experience that no other genre is able to give you. I've been Mike Feyrer. See you next time.